Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome into the show. So glad to have you guys on. We are talking fantasy football today. It is May 21st, and we are getting that much closer to fantasy football season. So today, I'm going to be talking about quarterbacks, and specifically one quarterback that's absolutely going to break fantasy football, and his name is Dak Prescott. But before I get into today's video, I did want to make a quick announcement for the channel. I'm going to be relaunching my Patreon. Now, this is going to be more interactive than ever. And it's going to be probably one of the most beneficial things that you can find on YouTube because I am going to be posting my draft guide directly on my Patreon. So instead of these other content creators that are out there just selling their draft guides for, $30 or $50, whatever it may be, I'm just going to post it on my Patreon. And anybody that has access to my Patreon is going to have access to my draft guide. My draft guide is an interactive draft guide. I'm going to be adding to it every single day until the start of the season. That way we're fully prepared for our drafts. What you're going to get is you're going to get a player profile on every single fantasy relevant player. It's not 100% completed yet, but it's on the way there. If you want to go ahead and sign up for the Patreon, you'll see what I have so far as our player profiles. It's already very beneficial to help you with the upcoming draft season. You're also going to get a chance to get in the Patreon league and get direct messages from me as far as answering your fantasy football questions. So without any further ado, I'm going to get into today's topic, which is Dak Prescott. This dude is going to break fantasy football this year. I'm 100% convinced. He's the best quarterback value in the draft. He's arguably the biggest steal in draft overall. Now, a big reason why people are down on Dak Prescott, recency bias, right? He hasn't shown you anything lately because he was hurt all of last season. People kind of attach, his real life talent and overall career profile to his fantasy output, which is one of the biggest mistakes you can make in fantasy. So what if he's choked in the playoffs? So what if it's been bad in crucial games late in the season? This dude is absolutely money for fantasy. You go back to his last full season. Just 2 years ago, he was the quarterback 3 in fantasy. What are we doing taking him as a quarterback 17? Just because he got hurt last year. And now we add George Pickens to the offense. We add Javonte Williams, some fresh legs to the backfield, at least in comparison to Ezekiel Elliott, So, literally, what are we doing? This is a guy who should be going way higher than he is. He was a quarterback 3 overall in his last full season. You look at his last full season, 590 pass attempts, 4th in the NFL, 4,516 passing yards, 3rd in the NFL. This dude was absolute money. From a pace of play perspective, from a passing yardage perspective, the efficiency was absolutely insane. If you look at money throws, which is a statistic that I like to look at, which basically factor in, difficult throws to make, throws where you're on the run, you're outside of the pocket, you're scrambling, and you have to make a throw, off your back leg. That's, that's how they kind of factor in the statistic money throws, right? A difficult pass to make. He was first in the league with 34 money throws. This dude is incredibly good at making passes under pressure. So say what you want for him as a real-life quarterback, but he's a gunslinger, and he's great for producing fantasy numbers. And I will say it again, he's going as the quarterback 17. What the hell are we doing with this ADP? This dude was 4th in deep ball completion percentage in his last full season with a 49.3%. Deep ball completion percentage. This dude is incredibly accurate at throwing the deep ball. We now add a deep ball merchant in George Pickens to absolutely feast downfield. We know what CeeDee Lamb can do downfield. And even Jalen Tolbert has the ability to get occasionally open for the deep ball. We have a great pass catching tight end. This offense is loaded with weapons. Okay? More so than it was 2 years ago when Dak Prescott was the quarterback 3 in fantasy football. So we need to be drafting this guy higher. Right now, he's probably one of the biggest steals in the draft. You look deeper into the statistics from the 2023 season, his last full season, 20.7 fantasy points per game. He was 4th in the league in fantasy points per game, 3rd in the league as far as just his overall accumulated fantasy points. And he had a 106.2 true passer rating, 2nd in the NFL. He was 2nd in the NFL in QBR with a 70.5. quarterback rating. This dude was an absolute money quarterback just 2 seasons ago when he really only had CeeDee Lamb to throw the ball to. This is typically what happens when you have a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. We know that CeeDee Lamb was a wide receiver 1 in fantasy just 2 years ago. Usually the quarterback is going to come along with them and produce elite fantasy numbers. And now, if Dak Prescott is able to feed CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and have both of them be top 15 overall receivers in fantasy, there's no way he won't be a top 5 quarterback overall in the NFL. You're getting the biggest differential from the ADP you're getting him at and the overall ceiling with Dak Prescott than you are at any other quarterback in the draft. This dude is absolute money. He's going to break fantasy football, and you absolutely have to draft this guy. He's going to make a huge difference. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch you later.